For joining me. Hope you all are well. Let's get down to some crazy business. You're now listening to Your Crazy America. During this segment, which I created under the Vault XL, it is to bring you information that is just outlandish, ridiculous, crazy, vice versa. But we're going to discuss this article I found the other day, which struck my fancy. And I said, you know what? I'm going to bring this to the chats and see what they have to say. So enjoy the ride. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Hope you all are well. Oh, how great it is to be an American, is it not? Yeah, you know I got jokes. I got mad jokes. All right, let's talk about this crazy nonsense. I was born black and male, but now I identify a white woman. I know race is not real. Dr. Ronnie Gladden is a US-based speaker, actor, tenured professor, and author. So now this is even more crazy. We're talking about a black man who's a doctor who says he's a white woman. Like many young women, Dr. Ronnie Gladden grew up wanting to be like Snow White, fantasized about a Pride and Prejudice lifestyle, and wanted to emulate Elle Fanning's fashion. Ronnie dreamed of lying out in the sun, getting a tan, having blonde hair that grew lighter in the summer. Well, now, you might need to get a wig. Do like Queen, just change your damn hair, okay? This wasn't a typical set of ambitions, however, because Ronnie was a community college, public speaker, actor, and uses this platform to promote what he calls a transracial identity. Despite being born black and male, Ronnie, who uses the pronoun they, now identifies as a white woman, regardless of outward appearances, saying there is repressed white them, he says, begging to be released. So this is Ronnie as a boy child. I can't. Ronnie, you need to get it together. Hello, Black. Thank you for joining me. Now, it's one thing to be biracial. You're half Cuban, half Mexican, half Cuban, half Jewish, half Asian, half Black, half white. Usually, if you're mixed with any type of Black, you're going to be considered Black. I don't care if you look white, sound white, whatever sound white is. You see where I'm going with this. Boy, if you don't stop this nonsense. So you have a repressed white woman inside of you, and he wants to be called they. That leads me to believe that maybe you have a mental problem. You don't want to be called he, you want to be called she, her. You want to be called them. Or shall Angela say, call you us? I believe you got a split damn personality. That's what I think. Let's get on with this crazy nonsense, everybody. Welcome to the Vault XL. Dr. Ronnie has lost his damn mind. Ronnie is part of a little known community of people who are transracial, meaning they are both transgender and identify as racial. Bingo card. So we're not talking about a black man who really want to be a woman, but then too, he want to be a white woman. You can't make this stuff up. People are transracial, believe that race is a social construct and therefore a choice. But the idea of changing a race is highly controversial. Famous example of transracial person is Rachel Dolezal. I guess many of you all remember her, the former NAACP leader who in 2015 was unmasked as a white woman whose family is primarily European descent. So that was a white woman walking around pretending to be Black, acting Black, talking Black, whatever you call Black, whatever. And then somebody said, honey, that ain't no Black woman. That's a white woman with some braids. Shut your mouth. The revelation provoked outrage around the world on social media after she said the idea of race is a lie. Well, that's true, because some people could come in, just like I called someone, was it yesterday, and they answered the phone, and he said, you sounded like a white woman. I didn't know who you were on this phone. Now, some of you come in, you say, I sound like a man. Then some of you might come in and say, whoa, she sound ghetto ratchet. Whoa, she sound street. She sound urban. She sound like a white woman. Then the next day, you might listen to me. I might sound like an Asian. Shut your mouth. Well, I can be all of those things, can I not? I'm queen. But I know one damn thing. I don't want to be a man. How about that? And I don't want to be a white man. I said that. Once again, the revelation provoked outrage around the world. And on social media, this woman claiming that the idea of race is a lie. Speaking during an interview with BBC's Newsnight that year, she claimed that ethnicity is not a biological and compared being transracial to being transgender, prompting X, formerly Twitter, users to accuse her of using white privilege to make her arguments. Despite the criticism, Rachel doubled down on her transracial identity, describing herself as unapologetically Black in a 2019 documentary. Rachel has praised Dr. Ronnie Gladden's work, saying it encourages us to expand our concepts of acceptance and inclusion. Dr. Ronnie, who holds a doctorate in educational leadership from Northern Kentucky University, subscribes to the idea that there is no innate or biological difference between the races. Of course not. We know that, Ronnie. We know that we're all human beings. We're all flawed. Whether we have a country accent, European accent, ethnic accent, Caucasian, European descent accent, however you want to word it, you choose how to live. Ronnie as a boy child, wasn't he cute with a pink luau? Luau, well, that might show us why he is probably feminine at this moment, which is his choice. Don't really care. I'm just bringing you the information. They claim race is a social construct, which is based on how people see and treat others and how people treat themselves. I know not real, Ronnie writes in their book. Look, their book. I can't with this. It's two of them. It's a white man and a Black man and a white woman, all in one body. Stop it, Angela. That's not nice. Hey, I didn't make this story. It's only so because society says it is. Exactly, Ronnie. That's what I've been trying to tell my fans. Everything's about perception. Man is the one who decides a car is an airplane is an airplane. Number one is number one. Number two is number two. Diamond is more preferred. She's worth more. Gold is worth more. Man said that, so I agree. Man has made everything be what it is or ain't. It's up to you to decide because everything's about perception. So, Ronnie, you are so right about that. They claim race is a social construct. Ronnie undertook surgery with the first nose job at 19, combined with some work on the lips. They also wear foundation in a lighter shade than their skin, but they acknowledge that their outward appearance does not relate to the world, their inner feeling of being a white woman. Lord have mercy, I'm dead. My skin is pretty brown in terms of complexion, recently told BBC Radio 4. My hair is thick, it got twists and waves. It's doing a lot of different things, but I see that as an expression of my mind. No, Negro, your hair is doing what it do. It's hair. I can't. In the same interview, Ronnie described how feeling like a white female dates back to a very young age. As far back as preschool, age 4, they wanted to be like their white girl peers. The academic explained, I remember being outside in the playground and wanting to animate in the same way that I saw my classmates, in the way that their hair would respond to the wind and would flap around. I wanted to have the rosy cheeks. Describing the feeling during a TEDx talk, Ronnie explained, I present as Black and male, yet internally I possess a white girl within. They continue, back then I knew that I was drawn to the white female aesthetic. I magnetically connected with the hair texture, the skin complexion, the bone structure, the social cues, and the mathematics of that all. Now, this is a lady who proclaimed she was Black, worked for the NAACP as the president out west, Pacific Northwest, and somebody outed her as a white woman. She got a white mammy and a white daddy. Shut your mouth. That's her, but not the guy we're talking about. So don't get it confused. Because somebody might come in the chat and mess the whole chat up. This is Rachel, not Ronnie, who we're talking about. This is an actual white woman who thinks she's Black. But the subject of this live is about a Black man that wants to be a white woman. Stay on cue now. Ronnie described this realization as surprising, perplexing, daunting, and extremely inconvenient, to say the very least. They told Medium that the psychological weight of that realization sent them into the depths of a depression and a minor oblivion. According to Ronnie, people may argue that as a young child surrounded by mainly white children, it would make sense that you would feel that way. That's how you should look. Now, I agree with that. you adapt to your environment. So if you grew up around white people, you would probably want to emulate what you see pertaining to white people, white children. So I get that. According to Ronnie, people may argue that as young child surrounded by mainly white children, once again repeating the same thing, that's how you should look. However, the feeling is carried through to adult life. So this is where Ronnie is diluted in his mindset into believing he is a white woman. Dr. Gladden experienced violence as a child and young person, including the murder of their half-sister while in middle school. In addition to other childhood trauma, the writer has described their father as abusive. Poignantly, they reveal how they believe they could have stood up to the violence if they had been a white girl, saying, I thought that there was a power of beauty, power of skin. Well, this just goes to show you he's not mentally well upstairs, because even if you were a white child, you couldn't stop somebody from beating you up or beating up your siblings or beating up your parents. White people abuse each other as well. So this is how you know that Ronnie is not in the universe with the rest of us. Now, all of us have jacked up ways. Many of us grew up wanting a different hair texture. The white girl with the curly hair, she wants her hair straight. The redheaded white girl, she wants to be blonde. The white-haired brunette, she wants blonde hair. Everybody wants to be something different. I don't give a damn what your race is. I don't care if you want to identify with another race. The Asian want to be black. The black want to be Asian. The black want to be white. The white want to be black. Hell, you got white folks acting black and want to be black. They're pumping their lips up to emulate black folks. Come on with it, queen. They're wearing braids, extensions, hair weave. Stop me. Everything's a choice. You do what you want to do. But you are really talking out of turn, because I'm going to shut up. I'm just going to finish reading this nonsense, okay? So basically it says, I thought there was a power of beauty, a power of skin. According to the writer, they could have given the message to back the hell off with that kind of authority embodied with white femaleness. This man is crazy. Ronnie has been in therapy for almost 2 decades, said that transitioning from the inside out is something they've spent much time thinking about. This is something they explained in detail in their book, White Girl Within, Letters of Self-Discovery Between a Transgendered and Transracial Black Man and His Inner Female. The book takes the form of a series of letters written from Dr. Gladden's identities as a black male and white female. According to Ronnie, while growing up, they saw themselves reflected in a number of women, including Full House character Kimmy Gibbler, rock star Joan Jett, and actor Anne Hathaway, describing the sensation as being insistent, consistent, and persistent through the years. See, this shows you he's messed up upstairs. Their expansive education, they have said, was a journey that helped strengthen their mental health. Among their studies, Ronnie attended international summer schools at the University of Cambridge and then continued to work with academia, traveling widely, teaching, performing, and mentoring. Now, do I want this person mentoring me? Do I want this person mentoring anybody? I want you to think about that now. Despite first having the feelings of being a white female at just 4, by middle age, Dr. Ronnie has written about how they were still facing unfinished business when it came to working on holding these distinct identities. But despite these struggles, Ronnie wrote, through all the noir, I know the light of my white femaleness swirls and lurks about. I thought it would always just have to be this way. Speaking during their TEDx talk, the academic who regularly speaks about identity, diversity, inclusion for K through 12 schools, universities, nonprofits, spoke about how transracial identities have been represented in popular culture. Among them, they listed Whoopi Goldberg in the movie The Associate, portraying a white male. They also cited Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique in the Marvel franchise, saying through her character, Mystique, she was able to represent an amalgamation of different kinds of races, ethnicities, and even species. White Girl Within, Letters of Self-Discovery Between a Transgender and Transracial Black Man and His Inner Female. It's the book by Mr. Ronnie Gladden. Oh, this article's too long. Describing how they reached their own identity, Dr. Ronnie wrote in their book that they are a female reason. Yet the journey is not a trans. They note their development was not linear, and they are still working to get caught up with everything. Among them are my voice, my looks, my actions, my stride, and my time. Describing their acceptance of their identity, they wrote, Ronnie, your life and form always eclipses me. It's true, I'm a white girl. And for the longest time, I've been your white girl. I know I am me because I see it. Damn, Ronnie, you fucked up. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. The subtext abounds in those eyes from three-dimensional white females that see me buried in you. Their instinct knows it and feels it. Wow, wow, wow. Share or comment on this article. I was born black male. I was born black and male, but now identify as a white woman. I know race is not. I'm scared to even look at the comments. I'm not even going to worry about it. Jesus Christ, is there more to read? No, it's not. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the Vault XL. Let's go back up to see Ronnie before and after as a black male, black child. This is the cover for the book. If you're interested in buying the book, Letters of Self-Discovery Between a Transgender and Transracial Black Man and His Inner Female. He is a doctor, an actor, entertainer, public speaker, but he's diluted mentally. This is the woman who claimed to be a black woman, and she was the NAACP president many years ago until people outed her. Don't know what she's doing right now. This is Ronnie as a child, black boy. Said he always felt like he was a white girl from the 84. Wow, 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 wow. Well, Kat, give your opinion. Everybody else gives their opinion. Nobody ever cares. Everybody always gives their opinion in my chat. Trust me, they don't care. This is Ronnie, who thinks he's a white woman. And he doesn't want to be clarified as him or her, but they. So I'm going to say this, and I don't care who likes it. Hey, you're entitled to your damn opinion. Ronnie started out like a lot of children start out, okay? You're looking at people around you, and you're going to emulate what you see. That's common sense. That's why I said this is how we turn out, Who raised us, where we were raised, the neighborhood, the city, the town, religion, how people talk to us, how people treated us. This is what forms your identity, okay? And common sense says how you start at 4 ain't going to end up being the same way at 10. How you start at 10 ain't how you're going to be at 15, so on and so forth, until they put you 6 feet down. But you emulate what you see. So he tells us that he was around little white children, so he was emulating wanting to be like them. Well, I can say the same thing. I came to Tennessee as a young girl, and yes, I would look at the white girls in school with the pretty hair, the flowing hair in the wind. Hell, I wanted my hair feathered too. I ended up taking scissors, trying to cut my own damn hair so I could have the feathered look. It's what we do as people. We emulate others, and when we're children, it's easy to do that. And you are admitting that at some point, you never shut down from that. You never came out of the cocoon. You never ventured out to say, let me find myself. Let me find thyself. You still were trying to be this little white girl as a teenager, as an adult. And that's where you you still have the problem. You still want to be like a white girl. But what you don't know is the white girl don't like herself. She want to be some fucking body else. Come on with it. Keep it real. Because that's just what we do as people. We're humans. We always think it's better on the other side of the pond. Oh, they look good. They look nice. They got this. They got that. But little do you know, they're troubled. Their spirit is troubled. They're financially troubled. They're mad at the world. They're suicidal. They're homicidal. They got mental problems. They got 4 people in their damn head, kind of like you. But you don't see that. And for you to be an adult, it's troublesome because you're supposed to be out here now trying to lead the flock. That's what you're trying to do. And really, you're not in a position to lead me or anybody else because you're confused. Now, a person can be born, let's say, to Jewish parents, and they assume they're Jewish, okay? But little do they know they might have been adopted. So they might have been born to 2 white people with dark hair. You see where I'm going. So you don't know who you are and where you descend from until somebody tells you. But in this case, you are mimicking a white woman. Children come out different shades depending on the chemical makeup in their parents. I've seen two people make a light-skinned black baby with light color eyes, green eyes. She had pretty sandy hair. People used to make comments, oh, the mother was messing around with another man. She was messing around with his friend, his homeboy. But what they don't know is the eyes come from the grandfather. The girl's grandfather, he had light color eyes and brown skin. That's where she got the eyes from. The skin color came from, I think, the father's side of the family that had biracial, components in the bloodline. So you don't know how children are going to come out. But you, sir, have been born as a black man, black parents, but you possibly lived around white people. So that's not your fault. Where there's a problem is that you are holding on to something that does not exist. Why not accept that you're an African-American man or whatever your racial component is and be happy with that? If indeed you want to be a woman, you want to get a sex change, or you want to wear women's clothes or whatever, that's your prerogative. But why not accept who you are? Because this is the reason why many people have the problems they have here in America and possibly other places. They don't want to accept who they are. And it comes a time when you have to accept you. And I had said that to myself years ago. It is time for you to grapple with being a black woman. I used to collect all type of magazines. I'm gonna go ahead and be honest on this live stream. I used to collect all type of magazines that had white women on the cover, white women in the magazine, Vogue, Cosmopolitan. And I used to tell myself, why are you always buying these white people magazines? What's the problem? Because it's how you start. I used to buy them all the time as a young girl. On the weekends, my grandmother would take me to the grocery store, and I'd always buy me a magazine on Saturdays after doing my chores. We would always run around after I cleaned the house. So I'd go buy me a book or a magazine, something for me with my chore money. And I always liked magazines because I like fashion. So a lot of the fashion magazines had white people in them. Now, there was Jet, there was Ebony, there was Essence, but I didn't buy those magazines. It was years as an adult when I started really reading black magazines. And I felt kind of bad, like, you should have been reading Essence and Ebony as a young girl. But I wasn't into that at the time because I really liked looking at Vogue, Harper's Bazaar. My neighbor next door, she always had a collection of Harper's Bazaar and Vogue. She was black. She liked fashion too. So you do what you do. But I love my black people. So I don't have a problem looking at the old magazine, Essence, Ebony, Jet. I don't have a problem with looking at Harper's Bazaar, Vogue, Traditional Home, whatever the content is, because I'm diverse. I know who I am, and that's all that matters. Yes, I still perm my hair. I still like my hair straight. I don't want to wear my hair natural because I don't like it that way. Because it's not becoming to me, and it has nothing to do with white people or anybody else. It's just, I don't like it. I don't like having the gray, but that's natural, right? It's a part of life, part of getting older. This man here, he's stuck. Mr. Ronnie Gladden is stuck because he don't even identify himself as even a him or her. He's a they, and that's a problem. Because he's holding on to at least three identities: a black man, a black woman, and a white woman. Or a woman, white woman, black man, whichsoever. But he's jacked up in his thinking, his ideology. And frankly, he can't lead others to the water because he's confused himself. So, Mr. Gladden, you're not somebody that should be mentoring children K through 12. You're not somebody that should be mentoring people after 12th grade because you're confused yourself. What you need to do is continue counseling and continue to talk to your counselor, therapist, whomever, about why you're still identifying as a white girl. Because you know deep down, you will never be a white person. You will never be a white girl. It doesn't matter how much makeup you wear. It doesn't matter if you keep putting on light color foundation, makeup. You are a black man who is possibly a feminine man who identifies as a woman. And that is where you need to start, is the identification as wanting to be a woman. So why not go from there? As most of you know, I don't care for men who dress up like women, dress as women. As I was speaking to a counselor yesterday, a friend of mine, and we were talking about that. And he was like, well, I don't really have a problem with it. I said, well, I do, because you may not call it dress up. I call it dress up, because in the end, you're not a woman. You see, it doesn't matter what you feel inside. You feel like a female. You feel like a woman. You feel like a butterfly. You are not a butterfly. You are not a mermaid. You are not a woman. You are a man. So it don't matter that you identify with makeup, lipstick, putting on women's clothes, what is considered, women's clothes. The point is, you are a biological man. You got to accept that. Just like people got to accept that they're black, that they're Hispanic, they're Asian. That's how you came here. It's nothing to get mad at that you were born to black parents, you were born to Asian parents. Who cares? Who cares? Because you can't change it. So deal with it. So that's what he needs to deal with at first, is being, number one, born black. He is never going to be happy in life until he accepts that he's a damn black ass man. That's first and foremost. You got to start with the aesthetics. And the aesthetics is, number one, you are a man with a penis. You got to accept that. Two, you got to accept that you're a black man with a penis. Until he can accept that he's a black man with a penis, he's fucked. So he don't need to lead nobody nowhere, because all he's going to do is mislead, confuse people. And we have a lot of people out here confused about their sexuality and their identities. And he is not somebody, this thing here, he don't need to lead nobody nowhere, especially children, because children are fragile. Okay, get out my chat with that nonsense. It's none of your business. Shep Gibson, you all are in the wrong playhouse. I talk about what I want to talk about. I give my opinion on whatever the hell I want to give my opinion on. I'm 53 years of age. I have lived. And the one thing I know about people, if a person is confused about their own identity, they can't help anybody else. You can't help me if you're confused. That's common sense. So if a person is walking around, they don't like their self, how are they going to help somebody else that's confused and they don't like their self? What is it that you're confused about? Don't come in this playhouse with no bullshit. The very reason why children are suicidal and homicidal right now is because they don't have good leadership. They don't have good guidance. That's the whole point. The blind can't lead the blind. The blind can't lead the blind to victory, because they're already confused. So a person that's grown and confused, how are they going to help a small child? And the fact that I got to explain it to you means there's something mentally wrong with you. Let me make this clear. I don't give a fuck about this black ass man. He wants to be white, Jewish, Arab. If he thinks he's a butterfly, if he thinks he's a goldfish, that's his perception. I'm bringing you the story, and I'm giving my commentary on it. You either agree or disagree. I don't care. Because in the end, when I shut this computer and phone down, I am not walking around thinking about Ronnie Gladden wanting to be a fucking butterfly. How about that? The point is, he's confused and he can't lead anybody to self-discovery, because he's still confused himself. That's common sense. You can't help people when you can't help yourself. And if you're confused about your own identity, how are you going to help somebody else that's confused about their identity? Because people mimic other people. So that's the one thing he said that's the truth. This is why we have all these different races, different people walking around with different colored hair, wearing different type of clothes, shoes, self-expression. A lot of people don't even know who they are as far as putting on clothes. They walk around and they put on stuff that other people put on. They see people walking around with Air Jordans on, and then they say, well, I want me a pair. But they may not even really like Air Jordans. But it's because everybody else is doing it. And that's what's wrong with a lot of people, black and white, Asian, Jewish, Arabic, Hispanic. You do what other people do. That's the reason why many people are broke. They're burdened financially. They're in debt because they're trying to keep up with the Joneses of the world. So it goes even deeper than just black, white, transgender, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm a bird, I'm an airplane. You have got to learn to accept yourself in the wholeness of you. And sometimes you may not know who you are and where you're going in life. But nobody can tell you that better than you. But the point is, at some point in life, you've got to accept that you are a white man with blonde hair and blue eyes. You are a black woman with brown eyes, black hair, etc. And if you want to pretend that you're a white woman, that's your business. You want to pretend that you are a 747 airplane, knock yourself out. The point is, you're going to have to come down to reality. That's the point. You're going to have to accept you're a black man with a penis. You're going to have to accept that you're a white woman with a vagina. And until you can accept that, you will have a hard time in life. And the fact that this man is educated, he's a doctor, public speaker, I would be very scared to listen to him speak about anything because there are fragile people out here who are soul searching themselves. And what they don't need is to be led into the abyss by another confused individual. That's why sometimes they say, people say, I don't give advice because I'm a work in progress my damn self. When I say that sometimes up here too, I don't want to give people advice because I'm still making mistakes my own damn self. But the one thing I will say, I'm a black woman and I'm proud to be black and I'm happy to be black. And I don't want to be nobody else's race. I don't want what nobody else got. Anything I want my own. I don't want your car. I don't want your Mercedes. I want my Mercedes. I don't want your house. I want my house. I don't want your body. I want my own body. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have to get to that point in life where you accept you for you and know that if you want to change you, you have that prerogative. But this man is utterly confused because he doesn't even want to accept that he's a black man with a penis, and that's a problem. So until he commentary, you will get a notification when I post and also when I comment on other people's articles. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below this video. Take the polls on my community page. Voice your opinion, be heard. And if you'd like to donate to this great network, $Big 129 Cash App. That's my commentary. I'm the queen. Matter of fact, I'm the queen bitch up here. And I give my opinion as I see fit. You can agree or disagree. Either way, I'm still gonna eat. Shut your mouth. I'm out of here, everybody. Vote Excel.